Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. As you guys probably know, the PlayStation 5 Pro is pretty much on the imminent release, where we have only maybe a few days, if even that, before it actually will go and come on out. But right now, there is still a little bit of skepticism, and I maybe want to make maybe one or two more proper videos on the channel to kind of go talk about this. Because as of right this second, there is, well, some issues. When it comes to consoles as a whole, it is expensive. When it comes to consoles as a whole, some people already have a PS5 already, and they don't really want to upgrade again, and some people just completely move to PC or completely just don't even got a kid and they don't even play video games anymore. But we're now actually seeing some out there articles discussing, kind of like on their own personal opinions and beliefs, of how and why they're not just excited for it, they're having issues with being hyped up for it. And I'm sure there's a few of you guys out there. I myself, as a content creator, PlayStation guy, and of course like playing video games, and I'm excited for GTA, Monster Hunter Wilds, whatever, I'm very excited for the PS5 Pro. But I also have my own little bias, and I do feel like I should always show both sides of the bias in case someone's like, I don't want someone to fall for the FOMO or waste like $700 when they don't need to. So I'm going to give an outside perspective, a random opinion piece, and kind of react to it myself, so you guys will sit back, relax, and enjoy. Make sure you guys are subscribed, because we probably do want to give out a PS5 Pro whenever it is announced, so make sure you guys are preemptively up for that. Same with the Twitter, this probably like the requirements for it. And of course, give me your thoughts and comments on everything down below. And of course, don't forget, like, it's going to be okay if you have an Xbox. It's going to be okay if you have a PS5. It's going to be okay if you have a PC. And it's also okay if you're just randomly watching this video and leave a hate comment and say that I smell or look bad. Like, that's always totally okay. So, like I said, there's a few kind of big issues when it comes to content creation. And it's like trying to figure out what people actually want to see. And for me, I do think there is a big subsection of people who want to know the negatives. Not like in that, like, I want to see everything fail, but more of like, is there a reason why I want to get a PS5 Pro? And that's why I think having these outside perspectives are nice. Saying, I'm struggling to get excited for the PS5 Pro, here is why. The rumored console could be announced shortly. So this is all over here by Dave McKinley, who posted it before, talk about this. With any luck and the good graces of Sony's Mark Evan Cerny, this will hopefully be the last time I ever read about the PS5 Pro from a speculative standpoint. It's widely reported that Sony's long-rumored console could be revealed within the next week, and at this point, I just want the Japanese giant to make the announcement to quiet down that impatient kid inside of me. Not that said inner child is all that hyped for the concept of the PS5 Pro at the moment. Don't get me wrong, I like a mid-generation hardware upgrade as much as the next forward-looking gamer. I pre-ordered a PS4 Pro pretty much as soon as it was announced, all the way back in September 2016 after all. The difference this time, though, the upgraded PS4 had a key selling point that could be easily marketed. And this is something that the PlayStation 5 Pro is not really using and utilizing. Saying one that I'm just not seeing with the rumored PS5 Pro yet. The fact that the PS4 Pro was the first PlayStation on the market to support 4K gaming made it a very easy pull, which I do think there's like nothing really majorly being pushed out for the PS5 Pro. I can agree on that. Although there is technically AI and like their super sampling, which is in theory maybe bigger than we expect, and as well maybe pushing 8K gaming finally, although that's like already been pushed by the PS5. So it's not necessarily new, but maybe more normalized, if that makes sense. But I agree, like older prior consoles, I feel like there was a bigger graphical leap and a bigger feeling for it. That all changed when the PS4 Pro entered my living room for the first time. I still have fond memories of booting up their Last of Us remastered in 4K quality mode and being floored at the sheer visual clarity of Joel and Ellie's post-apocalyptic adventure. And they're asking them, they said the PS5 Pro is likely to have such a feature that's going to draw me in as quickly as its predecessor. Basically saying 8K is not like the biggest deal, basically going and saying that like, it's cool, better graphics, better CPUs, but is it really better money? They're saying as much as I love graphics tech, it has a better APU isn't going to suddenly make me tell Sony, shut up and take my money. Which I'd probably agree. And I might make a proper video on this if you guys should get it or not. But I think if you don't have a PS5, get the PS5 Pro. If you do have a PS5 and you get a good trade-in value, maybe get the PS5 Pro if you're into it and like you like games or excited for GTA, you're going to play it a lot, whatever, like that type of stuff. And if you're a PC gamer, if you don't mind waiting, don't get a PS5 Pro. Like, it's fine. Like, these games will show up on PC at some point. Monster Hunter Wilds will launch on PC. Like, it's okay. And then if you're just not a gamer at all, like, go hang out with your wife and like take her out to dinner. Like, it's how it is. They're saying at the time of writing, there's speculation out there that the PS5 Pro will get a huge GPU upgrade, which I'm hearing like 45%. It's a pretty good upgrade, good value, and also it's going to be mass produced, so it's cheaper than a equivalent price range PC. So once again, if you don't have a PS5 already or don't have a PC, this may be a good way to go and kind of film at that too as well. If a high-profile X user's information is accurate, the Pro will deliver a graphic solution that's roughly on par power-wise as AMD's Radeon 770X or NVIDIA's 4060 Ti, which is insane. Like, that's actually, for me, almost a selling point. I'd be like, that's a win. Like, that's good. It's good value. But if you already have a PC, who cares? If you already have a PS5, you may not care about those extra graphics. So, like, it makes sense of why people maybe want to make that upgrade. I kind of like it. Like, I think it's actually kind of a good selling point. And it's all fine and dandy, and certainly a big jump compared to the Radeon RX 5700-ish potential of the PS5 and PS5 Slim. Normally, such a potential boost would be enough for a graphics card enthusiast for them to enjoy it and be on the hype. But they're saying they're already used to using good PCs and used to having better stuff, and you're used to having like high-end 4K graphics already. Going from 8K or a few more extra frames for an extra $200, $300 may not be worth it for them. And I completely kind of agree with that. That's an interesting, smart take. I think it's increasingly hard to get excited about the improved in-game resolutions or slightly speedier frame rates, and for context, they even have a 4090. So they're kind of in my sug section of they already have a good PC, they don't need a PS5 Pro, like kind of what I said 2 minutes ago. So like they're already kind of past it. They're the enthusiasts and they want even harder and they want to do that gaming side. While the PS5 and PS5 Pro and Xbox are on the slightly more niche side. We don't want to spend $4,000 on a PC to have it be top tier. You go get a console. There's nothing wrong with that. So I understand and love the inherent appeal of consoles. They just work, and they're also optimized well and have better value, in my honest opinion. And they say they can easily get behind that too, which I also agree on. Since I have a bunch of screwdrivers constantly on standby should my gaming rig decide to go blue screen to death on me at a moment's notice. Although the best PS5 games still look damn good to me, I'm currently playing through Star Wars Outlaws, and it's not only the biggest gaming surprise of the year, it's also really easy in the eyes on its favorite quality 40 FPS mode, although that would actually also work on the PS5 Pro. Funny enough, easily. On that frame rate front, with 60 FPS mainly becoming the default standard this generation for both the PS5 and Xbox X, the need for a console that can support more games at 120 doesn't feel essential. So their kind of high level is saying they already have a nice PC. So big like graphics updates and resolution jumps or whatever is not the same. Like they don't really care as much, which is understandable. But that's why I said in my preemptive guide of like, if you don't already have a PS5, you can get a good trade-in value, upgrade. You don't have one already, go and get one. Why not? You don't have a PC, go get one. So that makes sense. Like logically, it makes sense. So if you're already past that, your PC is already better. And that's kind of how I am sometimes. Like my PC is a good PC. So I don't necessarily need to go have a PS5 Pro. I might get one just for the sake of enjoyment and react to stuff and see stuff and test things out. But like as a core consumer, I'm probably good with my PC. But obviously I make YouTube videos and stream and talk about this stuff, so I'm intrigued on it for my own interest as well. So it's basically saying they have better quality already on PC, which is fine. But as well, there's not a big graphical jump, which I do kind of agree with as well. Like you don't have 8K becoming too much of a standard. It might over time, we'll have to see. But it does seem like they're also trying to decide between 120 frames versus having 8K versus having consistent frames and how much you can kind of shove into a game console and price points. So they're kind of just being like they expect a little bit more. But they have the money and the time and the enthusiast attention span to go and do more, which is totally fine. Some people don't. Some people just are kids. They don't have the money. Some people don't have $5,000 to spend on a top tier PC. Totally understandable as well. They're even saying even someone who obsesses over frame rates in the best PC games as much as I do will be the first to say the difference between 120 and 60 FPS is nowhere near as wide in terms of how a game feels in your hands compared to the jump in quality. 60 FPS gives you over 30 FPS. Will I buy the PS5 Pro if, more likely when, it's announced? My track record suggests I will, but right now, they're not convinced. I most likely will probably get one. And if I don't get one, I'm going to give one at least out to you guys on the community. Saying hopefully Sony's reported PSSR super sampling can get me hyped if the feature comes to fruition. And that really is that one big like next tick box of what's better. They have this that's going to be using AI, making like resolution running easier and kind of optimizing the console better. Like it's usually optimized and games are made for PS5s already, but the one biggest issue I think is that like they can make it even better, like optimize stuff better, which I think is cool. Like I think it's a win either way, because it's also equivalent to the NVIDIA DLSS and also a 4060. Like that's expensive and hard to set up without even having the other PC parts too as well. So overall, like it's kind of funny because even watching this and looking at this, it makes me kind of almost appreciate the PS5 Pro. Now, there is going to be some people who don't want to get it. They gave Sony too much money, or it's not worth the upgrades, or they have a better PC like this guy. But I do think there's a nice niche of people who can appreciate the console. Because they didn't really say anything that wrong. They basically just said, hey, like I have better stuff already, which is totally fine and valid. So I'm not really too hyped up for it, but they might still want to get it in the future. And I think that's okay. Like we'll discuss this a little bit in theory because people want to obviously know as you spend $700 $100 on an object to see if it's good or not. So let me know your thoughts. Like, I think I'm still going to buy one myself, so let me know. Also, subscribe if you guys are new, on the notifications for more news. We have the Twitter and Twitch room down below in case you guys like to follow. Leave a like, and of course, want to hear your thoughts and comments on everything down below.